Yeah, back up in it this morning for your ultra declassified kayfabe Friday locker room, taped on Thursday at twitch.tv/conspiracy horsemen. And it's Hamin Media Group flavor. Infidels who talk shit get dealt with real quick. So if you want to take a trip to the row, let an infidel like Big Stevie Cool know. Protected with Stevie kicks, AKs, and 187 skills. So must you test us? We can handle it in the streets, infidel. Fuck making tweets out there. It's Hacker Hami and it's Big Stevie Cool, and we're back on all y'all dropping chronic flex once again on the Friday locker room. Yalla. Get at me, dog. Get at me. Hit me up at Ben_Hamin. You got all that yippity yap to talk. Well, I'll show, don't tell, and we'll shut that shit down real quick. Superstars not wanting to be stars. Children hanging out in bars. That's all it is here today, man, on your Friday locker room. And I'm glad to be back after an awesome Conspiracy Horseman last night with my brothers, welcoming on 9/11 Architects and Engineers founder Richard Gage, a massive show for us. And glad to be back at it this morning to really talk some shit, because you never know when it's going down. They had to flip that lip. They had to get those Twitter thumbs going. His phone had to get those hands. And now here we are, and some more bullshit that doesn't need to happen. But you want to give us the shine, we're going to take it, and all the way to the top and expose them, because they got to learn the hard way every time. And that's what we do in the Veteran Friday locker room, infidels. Big Stevie Cool with a smug smile on his face. He's got lots of jokes already. He loves this kind of shit. Don't let it fool you. So good morning, Steve Areno.
His name is...
It wasn't worth the wait. We went a little late. I had to make that audio clip combining one of the most credible people in the medical industry, Dr. Dave Jonda, with right now one of the least credible professional wrestlers in history right now.
You need to give me one more thing. I need it again.
Oh, you need it again?
His name is...
Excellent. That's what I needed. I needed that with my Broster's coffee this morning. You almost got me on the Russo spit take there.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So if you don't know, now you'll know. Yesterday, it was a great day yesterday. Great week so far here at Hamin Media Group at Russo brand. We had a hell of a fun time on Tuesday. Just one of those days where the show goes by quick because, you know, the conversation is really great. Master Shoot people. It seems every week people are like, that's the best one I love that one the most. So I think we've heard that at least half a dozen times in the last like 3 or 4 months. So I think we're doing something right over there at patreon.com/RussoTWC, and obviously RussosBrand.com for the Raw and SmackDown review. Tuesday was a lot of fun. We did Impact Attack yesterday, and the Switch Up September. Big Ray returned for Impact. That was a long and great show, just to hang with those guys. Machetes were flying around. It was a crazy day. And the Monday locker room seems like so long ago, but it was Dr. Ted and I. Shout out to RBV, dealing with some family health issues with his grandparents, so he had to miss out. So we went 2-man booth, but we're thinking about all of our producers and everybody hammering away. Double A Andre's a huge follower of everything we do. His young 13-month-old daughter having some issues there. So we're just thinking about the hardcores that support us, and don't think that you're just nameless and faceless out there. From old Athers across the pond, who died last week and brought him back to life. We had to get Papa Shango to resurrect him. He's back on staff because I'm not watching SmackDown and doing the SmackDown review. We got to have somebody doing it. So him and MacGyver are kicking ass, man. And I'll be back after we get done with this for Light the Fuse with Chris Silvio and MSG, man. So just awesome work by everybody this week, and my Conspiracy Horseman brothers as well, Stevie Book and Richard Gage. Unbelievable. A great time last night. Stevie just kind of hit a pinnacle, a pillar, a benchmark that we wanted to achieve, to be in the underground, but dealing with those who are the foremost faces and getting a performance out of them that isn't, not a performance, but an interaction that's a little bit more genuine than what you're going to see flipping through the TV when they got to toe the line. And I think we accomplished that last night, man.
Yeah, it's great just because the curve in the beginning of trying to be yourself when creating content can be really rough.
Yeah.
Because there's such a set thing made by the mainstream media, talking heads, a certain way you have to look, present. I go back to it all the time. This is why I'm a huge fan of Pat McAfee when he was ahead of that curve with the NFL Network and sports broadcasting, and now it's come back around, and he's actually more unique and special and making more money than the mainstream media to some extent. And that's I feel like where we are when you have somebody like Richard Gage on who, still gets his points across, but he can, let his hair loose, no pun intended. He can let his hair down and he can act. He can even pick a fight with me and say he thinks he could beat me up. So he can do a bunch. He took his jacket off. He was ready to go. I think stuff like that gets around within that community. Like if Richard Gage knows somebody else within, architects and engineers, or somebody that's really high level, or even an Eddie Bravo, where he was on his show before and he goes, these guys are really fun to talk to, but they're not goofs or anything. You'll have a good time. I think that's how word of mouth will get around amongst the guests that we can continue to have.
I don't feel we've struck out with anybody. We've hit that human moment with almost anybody who's high level that has to have a status in the community and deal with, the appeals process and paperwork for FOIA requests for what they're really focused in on, where we're the color, the entertainment media pundits, and we can drop pebbles in the pond and hook people up all day. But those who are really doing the work and have to save face in order to represent 3,000 lost Americans in a lie hop, my hop tragedy that's all for profit and control. It's tough for a guy like that to, in front of people, to be, just be human, because he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, so I don't think we put him in any position where he's going to be embarrassed or anything along those lines, but it's nice.
Well, we got two huge truth bombs from him that were too huge, like throwing down the gauntlet. He called Larry Silverstein a dick. Yeah. And he said that Judy Wood, her whole thing was a scam.
Yeah,
I've never heard either one from his mouth ever. That was those two really big moments, hot takes.
Real hot takes. And he was having fun doing it. And he didn't answer my question, but I feel like the one question that really hit him the most, and you can see it in his reaction, because I don't think he gets it that much, because we get burnt out just fucking watching wrestling. Not this shit again. Holy fuck. Like that feeling. This guy's been the pillar of the community for over a decade of 9/11 truth. The credibility of the architecture in here that we all hang our hats on. So if anybody tries to go at us as tinfoil hatters, we go, oh, here's the architect right here, the guy who represents 2,000 others. And what did you say? That's got to wear on that guy to carry that for 15 years. And I asked him, I go, how are you holding up? I'm like, I'm like, 19 years of smacking your head against the wall and going back and forth with this. I'm sure he wants to go in there and fucking break arms, dude. Like these little weaselly fuckers with their lies and their end arounds as they try and play the lawyer game, instead of just going in, putting somebody in a goddamn shoot armbar chicken wing and start making them scream, and when I asked him that, you could see, like, I don't think anybody's really checked in with him and been like, dude, how you holding up, man? Like you're towing a fucking heavy line, man. We're here for you, brother. It's all right if you got to blow some steam off. And then he went into his staff and put over everybody and their hard workers and whatnot. But there's that human moment where I could see him being like, wow, no one asked me how I am, and this shit kicks the shit out of me, and I want to smash people's fucking feet. You know what I mean? So I enjoyed the hell out of that last night. Obviously just a great get for us, crossover with Billy Ray Valentine and America Unplugged and the Infinite Fringe, and everything that we've been studying for 20 years, man. And I'm just very proud that the Conspiracy Horsemen were, not that we weren't at that level. We've had great, important, huge guests before, but this is definitely top of a mountain for us on what we've been trying to do, and glad to be able to kind of be in his circle now, because who knows where this is going to lead for us as we try and put together for next year a Conspiracy Horseman along with Crow 777 and Billy Ray Valentine's stuff, whether it be a digital summit or an actual summit, both, to do a conspiracy thing along those lines. And now I'm sure it'll be a lot easier to have Richard Gage take part in that after he knows who he's dealing with a little bit more.
It's funny you mention that because I was just reading the emails between the people, the local politicians in Nashville that got completely exposed for covering up COVID, not, just not being the thing that it's supposed to be. And let's keep this quiet so we can continue to push the control narrative. I mean, that's I'm paraphrasing that part, but it's pretty much, we got to keep this quiet for. First of all, you're stupid for even emailing that back and forth and not thinking it's going to ever get out. And
Right.
Number two, how every time I see something like this, how are they not becoming what you say they should become and doing what you say they should do? How does that not happen?
I don't know, man. Our whole
city government is duping us, and I've lost my business and I've lost my job and I'm starving, and they did it all on purpose to control me,
And we just sit there and take it because they can push it, and the operant conditioning of it is well thought out. It's been thought out since the 40s and 50s in marketing and eugenics and everywhere they've done it, and they know how to push the buttons. It's all been tested in test groups and much smaller things. And if you can get 60-70% of the people to abide by it, the 30 who know it's bullshit will continue to go along, even if it's kicking and screaming. So it's agenda push either way, man. But that is where we are. 33 live here at twitch.tv/conspiracy horsemen. Ben Hamin YouTube channel. Tables, others, and chairs in the house back from the dead. Kaz and Real El Plaja, both of our awesome video editors for Russo brand and Hamin Media Group in the house today. Looking for those hot takes after we talk about the Braun stuff. Frank's pickle barrel ass in there up to his neck in vinegar. Stanley Hallman says, sub gentlemen, new subscriber and just watched Conspiracy Horseman stream from yesterday. Great stuff. Thank you very much. High Life Stinson here trying to troll and get his shit over. I see you. So if you want to do that shit, feel free to go fuck yourself, because I'm already at it with Braun, so a mark like you isn't going to fucking sway me one bit. Jay Ward, good morning. I see all you heads out there. Appreciate you joining the chat room early on Thursday, Ultra Declassified Kayfabe edition of your Friday locker room. Oh, Minga.
You want to get right into it, or you want to save it for
get right into it? Might as well get right into it. Fuck it. Let's keep them hot. So those in the Hamin Media discussion group and Russo brand fan group might know already. We put out I think it was from Friday locker room, because the one I cut on Monday, shoot promo on Monday, was on Rollins and Dominic with the stupid ass giving him the wrist wrap backstage and I'm blowing the heat that way. The week before on Friday was the shoot on Braun in the bikini dancing on the Redcon 1, which is a new pyramid scheme to sell supplements.
They're not new. They've been around.
They're new in their marketing to get the word out there, but it's a complete pyramid scheme, and Braun's their new spokesperson. So don't buy it, don't fall for it. It's bullshit. And even last night on AEW, somebody came out with a Redcon t-shirt on. I think it was Omega. So Omega and AEW, obviously the marketing team at Redcon says our marks for wrestling, because they had the world's biggest douchebag dance on their fucking table in a Speedo, but they've also got Kenny Omega on there, both of whom are pretty suspect, as the world knows. So here we are. I wouldn't buy a Redcon product if I were you. Absolutely not. Just based on the fact that they've got marks shilling for them. So don't fall.
You do realize that they do realize that it's a workout supplement, right? It's a workout supplement. I'm just saying, like in wrestling fans for the most part. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just checking.
Right.
Because I'm telling you right now, a lot of them don't want to spend $15 on a resistance band program. So Redcon, a little bit of friendly advice for you.
Yeah,
it's got to be $40-50 a pop for their supplements or something, plus whatever you're paying those guys.
So Scott Ward, I mean, we usually say, oh, who gives a fuck? It's some mark with 140 Twitter followers, so it doesn't matter. Scott Ward, obviously a little bit more over than that. He's got about 12,500, and that's enough to make waves. He is an avid listener of Russo, Brandon, Hamin Media Group. We appreciate you, Scott. Hey, at hey, it's me _Scott. Go give him a follow. He says, quote, this sounds like me, maybe. You're a fucking idiot and an embarrassment. End quote. At Ben Hamin on at Braun Strowman. I couldn't agree more. As a fan, I couldn't give a shit less about your character. If they bury you, I'm cool with that. It's deserved. Hashtag exposed. Hashtag buried yourself. Hashtag Friday locker room at Hamin Media Group. Appreciate that, Briz. And it wasn't off of Kaz's micro clip where we actually talked about the video. This was just a tweet out in the ethersphere, the beginning of a thread. Braun comes back like a fucking superstar. What did I say in that fucking promo? It was about their misuse of social media, not being stars and selling for marks and exposing themselves as not being able to take care of their own business. And what the fuck does he do? He answers the fucking fan. Cool story, bro. Where are you guys? Who are you guys again? Oh, that's right. Nobody. He also missed the question mark and who are you guys again? Go make
Nobody's what an apostrophe.
Yeah. Nobody's
like P-E-A-K.
Yeah, P-E-A-K. Go make another video crying about wrestlers that you don't like that no one watches. Hashtag dork. Well, fucking ogre, I will make more videos because you obviously know who the fuck we are, and you don't want, and you're selling for it, and you obviously know that you've blown your business off X amount of times and fucked yourself over. So I get a hold of Big Stevie Cool, say, I was just about ready to do my StevieRichardsFitness.com workout. I didn't even set any of this shit up. I'm just snitch tagged on something by a loyal listener.
Redcon, you don't even need the Redcon to do it.
No, I don't. I didn't need to go to Redcon this time. Then hit up Stevie. He's laughing his ass off about it. And I was like, do we want to go back at him? Yeah, of course I should. So all I did was the classic Hamin show, don't tell, those words, and he's going to go silent after that. I had no doubt about it. So I hit him with the show, don't tell. What pictures? Here's him on top of the Redcon table dancing like suspect. Meanwhile, the guys at Redcon are ready to put dollar bills in his fucking bikini. Let's never forget that Christmas is right around the corner with his elf costume. There he is putting a syringe of liquor, maybe, into EC3's mouth while he's dressed as a pussycat doll. That had to get out there on the internet. And then let's never forget about that Braun Strowman going for that Wonder Woman casting as well. And there's other things. But Twitter only lets you put 4 pictures up at a time.
He had an Oktoberfest outfit on with Sasha Banks too, or something like that, dressed like a waitress. That was
him in a dress with candy canes for Christmas as well as Mrs. Claus. I mean, this is your monster among morons. And you want to
actually a new shoot fighting champion in Raw Underground too.
Yeah. So, I lifted all the weights last night, and if he wants to come over on the front lawn and outside of the missile silo, I'll gladly whip his ass. Like, these are the guys that I feel like in wrestling, it's a JBL fucking Joey Styles storyline. Have all the muscle you want. You'll be exposed as a big crying pussy who's in Vince McMahon's office talking suicidal thoughts because your mid-card push isn't where it wanted, because they're not telling you that you're a dumb fuck online blowing the business that they're trying to get over for you. And then you're like, why am I not the champ anymore? Oh, is it because I'm dressed like Wonder Woman? No, that's not it at all. No, we would never punish you for that. It's just we wanted to go another direction. And he knows all of this. And it's easier to strike out at somebody and try and bully, but you got the wrong one done because he stooges himself off. Go make another video. Well, that means you saw the video from last Friday and you've been stewing about it since then. And then this Scott's tweet was enough to trigger you as a fucking vanity. This phone needs to get these hands, fucking Mark, to go out there and try and take a shot at me without doing any research. And then if you look at that thread, it's nothing but Russo, Brand, and Hamin Media Army members. It wasn't the WWE marks who came to their fucking thing. You're like, fuck, who is this indie guy? Fuck these guys. It's all you loyalists, 40, 50 of them going, Hamin is exactly right. This guy should fucking listen to the advice. He doesn't know who he's talking to or what effect it could have on his career if you would just apply it. But nope, this guy's been in the biz for 5 years. He's main evented in Saudi Arabia, had some real shitbox segments, and he knows more than me and more than Stevie and more than Russo with his infinite wisdom, and didn't take 2 minutes to actually study to know that I got about 8 or 9 years more in this fucking biz than he does. I write shows, not my own just my own segments, and then maybe he should shut the fuck up and listen and not even sell for anybody, because his legacy should be that of Andre the Giant. But he's too much of a fucking man-child to protect it. And now his name won't even echo 10 years from now, where 200 years from now, Andre the Giant will be talked about. This guy had the opportunity to do that, but he's a powder puff, pussy-ass child who can't stay the fuck off social media, along with a bunch of the rest of them. And now he's buried himself once again. And really, I hope The Office sees this and takes him down even another peg from Raw Underground, because they're only going to learn one way. And that's the hard fucking way. Unfortunately, no DMs, no none of that shit. No, where's my acting lessons? Nothing from Baron Corbin. The dudes who really fucking want the help, need it, have the opportunity to be great, cannot look at themselves in the mirror and say, I just need that little extra help. I have to go at these guys. Who the fuck are they? Well, who the fuck am I? I'm 10 times the performer you are. That's it at the end of the day. You got muscle, that's fine. That don't mean shit to me.
There's a bigger lesson in all this, and it's something that I was actually talking to Ted yesterday on the phone, and it's something I have to remind myself of every day with Stevie Richards Fitness, with what we do here on your shows, what we do at Russo, everything brand related. There's a thing about really separating your ego from the business.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, if I put out stuff that people always hate and I'm not making any money, I have to look at myself. I know the world doesn't work like that right now, especially wrestling and what we see on TV, where it's the fans' fault. Our product's good. They never blame themselves to try to change the product. It's a systemic culture-based thing in WWE, especially, to say, no, the fans are just fucking stupid. That carries over to the performers. There's also the thing with Braun and Bray. Wrestling's a very dangerous double-edged sword thing, because we all got into wrestling essentially a lot of times to make pretend we're somebody else, myself included, being insecure as my real name, Michael Mann. I said I can pretend to be this larger-than-life character, but I knew it was the larger-than-life character that I needed to get over.
Mm-hmm.
I never let my ego say that the fake matches I won and the fake push that I had were real. Now, I worked hard and I was given the ball and scored. Those are two different things. I didn't really beat the people that I pinned. More than likely, they probably would have kicked my ass. So what I'm saying is that with Braun, the fake push has sort of poisoned his mind as well as other people in wrestling, which is not an uncommon thing. So when they see you, and I've said it a million times, your value as a human being, your knowledge and intelligence, your worth as a human being in wrestling is determined by your fake push. So Braun is looking at this thing, even maybe with me, if I was tagged, or if he's looking at me going, well, that guy's just a jobber. He never won a match on TV. He never, well, I drew ratings when they were 7 and 8.7, 7.5 to 8.5 were right to censor. So some of the highest rated segments in TV history on wrestling. So I don't toot my own horn with that, but Braun would still say, I want a fake belt. I fake main evented Saudi Arabia. I was in WrestleManias, compared to you, which the real world improv experience, the real world performance experience, the different genres of performance experience, the coaching that you haven't, like a mark, put out there to everybody every single time of who you've actually helped.
Mm-hmm.
It's all discounted in the mind of, I want a fake match and I got a fake belt. Am I off base with any of this? This is the poison in wrestling where, hey, listen, I've been in wrestling longer than you, but I still ask, hey, what did you think about this? What did you think when I was wrestling and when I was cutting promos? We all ask each other for feedback. There's no 28, 29 years compared to 15, 20 or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's, hey, how is this? You don't have a fitness brand, but I send you everything I do to say, hey, man, what do you think about this? You give the feedback, I make the adjustments. That's the difference between furthering your business and your brand and being hauled up in your third to fourth try from the company, which is quickly running out for this guy until he's maybe that Big Show status when Big Show was completely there with his nuts cut off, but really kind of didn't deserve it as much as Braun does. Like if I was Big Show, I don't know why he's not going to Big Show in the beginning saying, hey man, can you just help guide me through this shit? Cause I'm having a little bit of trouble. I can't see Big Show if he came to him and asked him for help, somebody like that guy saying no to him because he's only in the business to help people right now. He's not doing anything selfishly.
There's just not, they're not going to get it. He came through the cookie cutter system after coming out of strongman. He never paid any dues on the indies. His size got him to where he is, his look did, but that doesn't mean mental capacity and knowing how to work and protect their investment of the tens of millions of dollars they've invested in Braun to be blown off for him and EC3 cross-dressing on Halloween. That's such a important post to get out there for the fan base, but it's under the Adam Shear Instagram. So it's okay, guys. It's not under the Braun Strowman.
That's the biggest offense right there. That's where you as the czar would say, we got to get on brand. We got to be uniform. That would have been number one thing I would have done if I were Vince. We put out all this stuff about third parties and all this other bullshit. I would say you are Braun Strowman, you're Alexa Bliss, even Impact. You are Jordan Gray. This has to be uniform. You're asking the fans to think too much and say that you can't suspend disbelief when they choose to say, hey, now you have to suspend disbelief. No, now it's real. Now I go back to suspending disbelief. Now it's real. People are going to go, I'm not paying attention to either fucking thing you're telling me to do.
Pretty much, because you've split the focus, and the thing that's supposed to be the believable one, a guy who's 6'8", 360 pounds of gassed up muscle, that's what he should be, a world beater and destroyer. He looks like Goliath from David and Goliath story. However, he's also Nancy, Sally, and Sue on his Instagram. So, it's done. You're done. Like there's no going back from and you'll do more. You'll continue to do more. The poetic justice of him being triggered and tweeting a fan off of a video I made 4 days before that about them being marks and not being able to stop from this stupid shit of going at it with fans. And that's what he's hot about. And then doing exactly what I said is truly a beautiful, poetic, blitz of stupidity, I guess,
What I was tempted to do, the first thing I was tempted to do, because I thought I'm not on Twitter much at all anymore, but I thought I was tagged in that tweet. So I was going to say, call me a nobody, try to call me a nobody, but it was better what you did. But actually at 2:00 this morning, when we both couldn't sleep after the Richard Gage episode for all the right reasons, I was just in between sets. I was like, you know what? I really feel like DMing this guy, not in a bad cop, good cop, because you came over the top of what you did, but saying to this guy, you do realize we're not wrong, number one. And number two, it's all criticism to only make you better, whether public or private. If you'd rather have all this stuff done in private, then ask for the help. I can help you. Ben can help you. But that's all up to you. But I don't think that DM would even get answered, or maybe just a fuck you or something to some extent,
And his DMs are open in that too. So it could be done. I'm not asking you to do anything along those lines.
I want to do it on my own, just to be like, we can definitely help you. And it can be kayfabe, because obviously we got the stink of Russo and actually ourselves now on ourselves.
Yeah, but Russo put it over. He says there's half a dozen. He put it on Raw and SmackDown reviews this week. There's half a dozen guys who are active roster right now who reach out to Russo, which is exactly the same as reaching out to us, because it's all going to get fucking, creative teamed out that way because of how bad WWE creative is, and they don't have anything for these guys, and they're so frustrated. I was looking at Hamin Media Discussion Group, William Alessia.
Group.
put over that there's, you know, guys who they want to do, Kevin Owens, they might make him the leader of Retribution. Kevin Owens doesn't like it. He's ready to leave. Ricochet, ready to fucking leave. Who are the other ones? There's like 4 or 5 that are just like your mid-card players, ROH guys who thought they were going to be the megastars, so they've gotten these stupid little side things. And not, AJ Styles, another one. And like, just ready to be done. You know what I mean? Because of how bad the creative is. So it's going to be more and more of that instead of them listening and applying. And they don't even know how much power we have over their collective futures. That's the rib, you know, like the unsung of what they don't know or who they're even fucking with. And I have to teach him a quick Big Brother lesson the hard way. He can act like he's over, but he knows he got tuned up, and he put himself in the bear trap. I didn't bait this at all. It was a snitch tag from a listener, and he fucking bites on it. And there's no more. It's exactly what I said in the video. So I don't know what to tell him aside from thanks for getting me over a little bit more. If you really want to go, who the hell are you, you fucking Mark? I'll gladly compare 8x10s who I fucking faced off with. And I guarantee my legend list is better than yours. But you didn't take enough time to fucking do the homework before you opened your big cocksucker. So go flip another fucking ambulance, go flip another fucking truck, and maybe that'll get you over for another 2 weeks. But the reality is you're exposed as a giant man-child, to be honest with you.
If you could do me a favor too, Braun, if you can hold a resistance band in your hand and tell people not to go to StevieRichardsFitness.com because of how much you hate me. Even if 5% out of morbid curiosity, say, I want to see if this guy even looks the same, then maybe I'll get some sales out of it. It's tough, man. And all those talents that want to leave with the grass is greener on the other side. I want to remind you, Zack Ryder still hasn't, a best friend of Cody, still doesn't have a full-time contract, still on a nightly deal. That the more this comes in, Khan's not going to keep paying guys, or, you know, it's going to start getting cutthroat, like you said, if it hasn't already. It's going to be a lot of different stuff going on. WWE, it's not great. I wouldn't say it's the place that I would want to be. It's not the place that Vince would want to be, and it's not the place where you should be, Ben. I mean, I know we want to be there, but we would only last a day.
Now I want to get the big job. Not, you know, let's build this to the point in fantasy of like, all right,
the ladder. You want the ladder. You want the ladder metaphor to happen right here, right?
Yeah, I'm coming in at the top, and then I want to see the look on his fucking face where I'm like, hey, dude, let's go over some new stuff. I want to get to know about you a little bit more, what I can do. Like, they don't know who they're fucking with, man. That's the whole thing is. And when it drops one day, or when I get to that point and we cross paths on the way down the ladder, or me on the way up, I'm not coming in as an underling position if it happens. I'm coming over the top, turn the fucking hat around and go over strong, because we got to save this ship because of these fucking idiot children's inability to keep kayfabe and fuck up the creative that we have going on. And then even our production people will fuck it up for us after we wrote something for 6 months. WWE.com needs a 1 minute fucking little jack off fucking human thing.
Why? That doesn't make any. And that was produced.
You're not there because idiots are in charge.
But you got two people that throughout the generations at least understand the old school business of kayfabe to some degree. Vince and Bruce have to still. You can't do this without the approval of those two guys. You can't do it.
I don't.
As a matter of fact, that wasn't a run and gun. You don't do a run and gun in wrestling. Maybe you do to some extent, but that kind of thing is like what Russo said, setting up the shots for the day, production meetings, this, that, the other thing. Vince hearing this as he sits up there. Bruce lining up the crews to get them out there. This isn't like, hey, man, we got these two guys doing, let's capture a moment. That's not what happens here. This was deliberate. This is one of the few things they did plan. So it's crazy.
So if you like being part of pyramid schemes and being taken advantage of for being a mark, go to Redcon and sign up today.
You got to say like this, Redcon.
His name is.
I'm going to send him that WAV file too.
Phenomenal. So
I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put the rest of the plug for the Resistance Fan. And he has a strength and conditioning program.
The weird thing is Braun and I will probably be good friends within the next 3 years. He's a Wu-Tang fan. He's a chop wood, carry water, gun hunting type dude. I don't care if he's a closet case or not. I got plenty of gay theater friends. Just come on out, bro. And, we'll bury this and laugh about it later. And he'll realize that he was a dumb fuck who didn't know who he was messing with. And then he'll get some of my knowledge, be inspired, take it to being the man he should be. And then we'll have a good laugh about it later. So, welcome to professional wrestling. An interesting afternoon on a Wednesday. Yes, that was a big Wednesday from 4 o'clock to midnight. It was a big.
I love having you on we're video chatting on Facebook Messenger. And my wife is off camera, and it's like talking to Ben and then explaining to my wife how this all like has to make some sort of sense in some way. Like a normal person is just like, what is this about?
Fuck. Why God?
Oh, he froze. He got
the Annals of Time is a fucking mass destroyer, human, put up on a pedestal, can lower himself to an 11-year-old or 13-year-old middle school girl level in a minute. In a minute, he can fucking do that. It's unbelievable, man. But I love it. It's unbelievable. Yeah, WWE. So thanks for the rub, buddy. I look forward to talking to you again online soon.
You're a dork.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the other thing.
He couldn't even say fuck off. He's like, dork.
Top. Dork. Nerds.
Like, dude, if we were writing the show, we'd bring back Revenge of the Nerds as a fucking heel. Like, Retribution would turn into Revenge of the Nerds to us, and then Braun would be like the enemy, and then he'd have to be the head nerd in charge with them. Yeah, that's an idea. Write that down.
Right. Yeah, I like that, pal. Nerds. They already got the Omega Moves in their women division, so they're fucking ready to go there. That's for sure. Stevie, anything else before we get to the brutality that is the headlines from WrestleStink and ProWrestling.com?
On a more positive note, I do want to do my Coast to Coast AM show just because I have to cleanse the palate of 3 days of professional wrestling and obviously the Wednesday night. We took a break this week, obviously, thank God, from the weekly talk about fucking sick ass pedophiles and Netflix fucking cuties and all this other bullshit. So like actually a government inside job that fucking brought 3 buildings down, wiped out $2.3 trillion, killed 3,000 people, started a fucking 3-front war, was a welcome reprieve from that was our vacation.
Oh, thankful.
That's it. So now let's go to the press releases, I guess.
Shout out to MSG, our own super producer, Matt Schaffergage, did the dirty work. And actually from a producer, writer standpoint, broke down that terrible fucking push that they're trying to do on Netflix, Cuties, and great responses from people saying he did an excellent job on that. So I wanted to thank him for powering through, because I have enough anger and frustration in my life that would only sent me into a fucking spiral of punching holes in the fucking missile silo wall. So but people were loving that over at Hamin Media Group on YouTube, so please go subscribe, check it out. They were all ranting and raving about it. So thank you to MSG for doing the dirty work on that one, bro. Let's see. Here we go. Aleister Black and Andrade possibly losing their pushes on Raw. Aleister Black and Andrade could be in the middle of losing their pushes on WWE Raw brand. It was reported that Wrestling Observer that when Paul Heyman lost his job as Raw Executive Director earlier this year, word was that Black and Andrade were 2 guys that could be in trouble, as WWE Chairman CEO Vince McMahon didn't necessarily see a lot in them compared to what Heyman saw in them. 1 second. Oh, Smiz. We noted before how last night's Raw indicated that Zelina Vega is breaking away from Andrade and Angel Garza and starting up a feud with Raw Women's Champion Asuka. This could be a bad sign for Andrade, as I believe Garza will be the one to go over in a feud between former tag team partners. Vince has been high up on Garza. It was reported earlier this summer that Vince saw him as a younger version of Hall of Famer Eddie Guerrero. Black is currently feuding with Kevin Owens on Raw. He picked up a Raw win over Murphy in early July, but then he lost to Seth Rollins in late June. Black was out of the ring during all of August to sell an injury angle, but he returned to Raw Underground earlier this month, defeating enhancement wrestler and then losing to Daba Kato. He returned to the regular Raw ring on last night's show to lose to Owens, thanks to the distraction from Retribution. Yeah, dude, both of these guys misused completely. Now that Heyman's not there to have the underground flavor, I could see. God damn it, just freeze it up. I froze up for a second. You good?
No, you just kind of slowed down for a second.
It's the WrestleZone or the Wrestling site, some fucking ad. Yeah, they're looking to leave, these guys, whether it's Ricochet, Kevin Owens, especially if all their buddies are over there, the Bucks and all them, and they're miserable. So it's only a matter of time before the ROH 2013 mid card makes their way over to AEW because they think it's going to be greener grass on the other side of the fence. But I don't think they're going to find out anything better creatively that supports them, instead of just saying, let's have a meeting here at WWE and get things back on track the right way. 4 or 5 of your top stars are ready to go. Samoa Joe, I think, was in that list too, with AJ and them. And so Ricochet, KO. I feel like there's one more that I'm missing. Go to the Hamin Media discussion group. William Alcia, great insight all the way around over there. Stevie, what do you think on this one, man?
Oh, I just had a terrible thought that AEW is going to go to 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, when you're there and you want to be fulfilled, if you're creative, and especially if you're physically doing things to your body in a creative sense where it isn't paying off as much, and you're stuck in that treadmill, you're stuck in treading water, or, let's wait till let's get through this pay-per-view, let's get through this COVID, let's go through all this stuff. It's tough as a talent because you can't just cash a check there, even though it appears some people are just doing it because it's a job. You can see phoned in performances all around, but when you're wrestling and you're putting your body on the line and you're working out and dieting and doing everything you can, it just, after a while, it's like the money doesn't mean as much. Like Vince says, for $1 million, you can't make me work there just because you're going to just cut my nuts off and I can't do anything. And all you're going to do is try to embarrass me. That's always the thought in the back of your head. I guess that's why most people haven't stood up against a lot of stuff they've been doing, especially during the COVID and during all that stuff, when they could have not unionized, but at least came together for some kind of solidarity, and they haven't done it. But instead of having a solidarity within the company and these 4 or 5 or 6 people standing their ground, they all want to leave, and the problem's only going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be fired or you want to be released anyway, just fucking go nuclear on them.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
And go public and do an interview and talk about independent contractors. What are they going to do? They're going to fire you. Now you have now I'm an employee because I couldn't have said, I'm an independent. You can, with one interview to Fox Business or one of these are major cable news networks, or even going on Joe Rogan and saying, this is, I need to have a voice. I want to talk about this for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
And these two
What
guys,
about Andrew Yang? Go to Andrew. Well, the Chop Kid is fucking talking to him.
Well, with these two guys specifically, is this social media ruining their push again? But Aleister Black was kind of ruined before that because we've had, I'm going to pick a fight. I'm going to knock on a door. And then he didn't pick one fight. He didn't knock on one door to fucking go kick somebody's ass. Then they bring him back as Aleister Crowley. And then he blows it off with going to Hobby Lobby and showing that his wife is Zelina Vega and they got 19 cats. Weird enough that way. And then fucking, then we're supposed to be back that he's believable as an ass whipper. And then they do the eye thing, which the spot looked all right on the corner of those steps. Now we've moved on past Oho, poor Oho, but he's still coming down with K-tape over his eye to try and get this shit over. Not one thing they've done with this guy since NXT has worked when there was gold there with him being the next Undertaker mythic dude, but didn't want to protect his business. And now he is where he is, marginalized, a joke, like in these rib things when he should have been a top storyline guy, didn't protect it. Nobody to blame but himself in some degree. But then with Owens, always up and down where Vince could look at him body type wise and take him out of something. He can cut the great promo when it's real and in the moment. But both of these guys are really on their lower rungs of WWE right now.
Yeah, they got him kind of with Owens cutting the promo, making fun of him for being in the room and and never coming out of it. That was a Vince call. But Aleister Black, I have to give him credit though. If I didn't watch the YouTube video where he did the battle box unboxing, I wouldn't have the battle box monthly. So thank you for that. Your career was right. Mission 67 was pretty cool. So your career was worth the 200 views I got for the video.
But Andrade too. I saw in the story that Charlotte's going to come back for a little run only to announce that she wants to go start her family and have kids with Andrade. So, here's the relationship part of this. Is this the WWE punishment too? We put all this money in these people, but they want to go and not live the carny life. They want the 2.3 kids and all that fucking shit, dude. Like, and to have Mark life. Well, you signed up to be a carny and be a star. You don't burn the investment that we put in you to be able to go do these little side things. So then you can compete with Nikki and Brie Bella on the fucking cover of People magazine selling pictures of your fucking kid for $75,000. Like, let's be honest about what they're trying to do with that. Does she want to have a child and have a life? Absolutely. But guess what? You sacrifice a lot of that shit. A, when your name's Flair to start with, and then B, you have a legacy to uphold women's evolution wise, and that gets shit on. The empowerment of women can be stopped because they want to have a child. Okay. And then I like to see the conversations in the family that brought these two together. I'm not trying to question their love for each other, but this guy can barely speak English on camera. What fucking great conversations do you see going down in the bedroom between Andrade and Charlotte Flair about high level topics where neither of them speak each other's language very well? It's scenarios like that just have me fucking flabbergasted and laughing at the same time of how ignorant these people are of everything they worked for 20 years. They get there and then they blow it off for some fucking Mark life shit. Oh,
okay. So why? Here's the thing, though. Just like when Becky just handed the belt to Asuka, you can have this.
Oh, you
go be. Yeah, I'll give this to you. I got a gift for you. What? Who is creatively? And I'm talking to the network executives too. Like if there's no script approval apparently, but say they could get the heads up that Charlotte is going to, there it is, Odin's emoji. Thank you for doing that, Ben. Say they could do that. Like they said, all right, well, she's going to come back and then 2 weeks later, she's going to leave to go have a kid. I would be like, well, wait a minute. Why are we wasting valuable TV time if she's leaving? And why isn't the company that I know, at least if I say, hey, I want to do this thing. Okay, well, can I come back on TV for a few weeks, get pushed and then announce it? No, you just go do the thing. Just focus on that. You'll have a job for life. But right, that's the one time where you got to be like, nah, that's a little passive aggressive. Cool. No, you go have your family. We'll just run this company. Somebody else will somebody else will be more than willing to try to fill your spot.
Sure. Give me Tessa.
But, well, that's a fuck you to Charlotte then if there's heat there.
Right.
Or doing another deal. But do you see what I'm saying? They're as responsible for letting this occur and letting the behavior be bad and letting him think, look, Becky can come back anytime she wants. Well, what if it's like, nah, we got a couple girls, we'll just put you on the back burner for another four months. It's not like them saying fuck you for having a kid, but that's the way the company used to be. Dude, this is the same company that told Vince Russo, you don't have to spend time with your kids, just get a nanny. Now they're this. So which is better? I don't know.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, do I give a shit about Becky Lynch's kid with Seth Rollins? Zero. I give a fuck about that. There's no stakes in that to pay off. No, nothing. Just these little feel good, pat each other on the back moments that are nothing more, really. Not to say your kid and your family isn't nothing having one, but really, this is just the next level of WWE moving from Carney in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s to Triple H and Stephanie becoming the family people and and Vince becoming a grandfather. Now that's the model, and it's all right for everybody else to do that. Whether it's Seth and Becky, that's the hot shit. Whether it's Daniel and Brie, and now it's going to be these things. It's going to be, we're all moms together pushing our strollers around the arena, and everyone can mark out for your kid backstage. And then you'll get heat if you didn't put over their baby the right way, and fucking like all of this stupid.
And now you got to say hello to a baby the right way, not just the people.
Is it not? Am I?
Yeah, no. I remember big heat for not saying hello the right way. And that's going to be, or you didn't smile, or you said my kid was better looking than their kid or something, like whatever.
Exactly, dude. And it's going to, that is the ridiculousness that is coming in the next 2 years. And you've seen clueless parents of 2-year-olds, how stupid they act too. Amp up these behaviors of people who think they're over and they can get away with dumb shit, and then add some fucking new parent stupidity on top of it. Woo! It's gonna be magic. 2 years from now, you'll come back and clip this fucking show.
Well, put that on TV then. Why not just make it all fucking total divas or whatever?
It's whatever. They're fucking all morons, children, bro. Just absolute children. Oh, goddamn you, wrestling. Continue without disabling. WWE superstar Lana, you might have heard her. She threatens to quit social media over cyberbullies. WWE superstar Lana has threatened that she will turn off her social media accounts due to cyberbullies. She also said that her husband, AEW star Miro, removed his accounts too. She called out people who send her hate and cyberbullying comments on TikTok videos she posts to her Instagram, but tells Natalia, who posts the same videos, that it's the best TikTok ever. Lana's full tweet was the following: "It's crazy to see that I can post a video on my IG and get so much hate and cyberbullying comments, and then @NattyByNature can post the exact same vid, and everyone says it's the best TikTok ever. It's the same video that I made. Why are you guys all such bullies to me? If all of you kept coming at me in cyberbullying ways, the entire household of @2BMiro and my social media accounts will be turned off. Mental health is the most important. Cyberbullying can really affect someone's mental health. Please have respect and stop cyberbullying me." I mean, I could be wrong about all this shit.
Just clip me being quiet for 30 seconds. So the cyberbullying is the real issue, not the fact that social media is a disease that's created this. And if you're working on, that's fine. But I have very little doubt that this is real, that you really are. Like, I checked my eye. This is people that make 6 figures, sometimes 7 figures in the case of Braun, that are doing this, that are taking stock in this as a priority. Now, you know what? When I look at social media, I go, okay, Instagram got me 0 affiliate sales, zero band program sales. YouTube seems to be a good percentage of where I get my sales from. I'm going to do that because that seems to go in the SEO a lot. I'm going to do more content like that. Instagram, I'm going to throw my little stories up. I'm going to try to convert. But for the most part, right now, maybe I'm going to try to promote some positivity. I'm going to try to promote, some cats can get rescued, so you can bring awareness and donate to certain shelters, stuff like that. I don't sit there and go, Redcon's getting more sales on Instagram than me. we're very right. I'll never be a Redcon athlete, apparently, from looking at their.
His name is.
But you know what? I got to catch up on the use of the Rodecaster Pro and the sound pads. You and Russo have got it ahead of me. But what I'm saying is, like, this whole thing of, if it's a gimmick, then God bless her for working everybody. But like, we've seen too many precedents where they're working themselves into a shoot. And I would tell Lana and Rusev or anybody else, Braun included, to watch the documentary The Social Dilemma. And also look up Cambridge Analytica and look up, and also watch one of our Conspiracy Horsemen episodes with the Google whistleblower. I forget his name, but that guy. Yeah. Where the door opened and a ghost came in the room. We thought he was going to get whacked right on the air.
We should check in with him, but pre-election again.
Yeah. Watch some Project Veritas stuff and see where Facebook and Twitter and all these other things are, the algorithms are controlling you, because these people are they're the matrix type people that are charging the batteries of the social media, like, power. If that's a good analogy to use, like, they're in the pods feeding the energy of the machines. Because I don't know what else I can say about it, except, like, as time goes on, I'm trying to figure out a way not to use social media. These people are, dude, I have no doubt that Braun would go into Vince's office and say he's suicidal about his mid-card push, and at least 50% of it is reading his replies on Twitter or reading what people are saying on podcasts or social media about him. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, if he was oblivious to that shit and wasn't addicted to vanity metrics searching of his own name, then he wouldn't fucking have to worry about that kind of shit, or the fact, just block a motherfucker or mute it. Instead, you gotta come back with the Twitter thumbs. You gotta try and go at a dude who's only got 12,000 and 4,000 followers, like you're gonna get over, and you're just opening yourself up for retaliation. Thinking he was gonna go over, not doing the research of who the fuck he's even talking to, but he must know it because he referenced the video. So, just in the locker room politics game, this guy could be spun like a top.
By the way, someone said in the chat that Lana is 35 years old acting like this.
That's good stuff. It shows there's a whole generation of addiction with that shit where they don't know how to handle it. Or she's actually working everybody and wants the hate to flow in, because it doesn't matter. There is no such thing as bad press. So, but I don't know. I put it over that they really are jealous of Natty's account versus hers and all that kind of shit. It's ridiculous. Ty McNair says he'll fight Braun Strowman. I don't doubt that he will.
Look at that. We got to have him tested. Look at that picture.
I know. He's fucking jacked. Well, he had an old hair bag one, so he's updated. That's his elite days. He's even got a little red rooster thing in his hair there, which I always wanted to slap him in the face for. But no, I'm glad we got a lot of the heavy hitters.
Who's that?
Dr. Ted in here, tables, athers, and chairs, Plaja, Kaz. In the house, doing great work for us, production wise, thumbnails. I mean, everything. I asked these guys for any little thing, and they jump to too, man. So I appreciate all of that extra work that they're doing, and Stevie as well, man. Just the backbone of Russo brand, Hamin Media Group, and obviously Stevie Richards Fitness. This triumvirate that we put together, and this team, just doing great things, man. And with Matt moving to Denver, I don't doubt that he's not going to be in with those South Park guys within the next year. I don't doubt that GGP, as NFO goes forward, that he's going to have a shot to be on The Mandalorian. Everybody is really seeing what their big dreams and potential are. And through Hamin Media Group and this, what we've built here with loyal listeners and followers, I think anything can be accomplished that way, except for me becoming head of WWE Creative. Matt Sydal reveals advice he got from Triple H in WWE Dream Match. He didn't get to have Raj Giri on Wrestle Stink. Just recently interviewed him. Triple H Triple H helping him out during his career and revealing the advice that was given by Triple H is exactly what is being shown on NXT TV today. He said, 100% like completely, Sydal expressed. One of my favorite quotes is, unlearn something every day. It's an Alan Watts quote. Triple H was so generous to me with his time and his knowledge when I was the young up-and-comer wrestling chavo at every live event. After our matches, he would come back and just give me a list of things to work on, which is exactly what I see going on in NXT, like how they're adopting high flyer style to the WWE audience. Basically, how WWE NXT does their stuff is the advice that Triple H was giving to me, and that's great. But it includes a lot of assumptions. They're not necessarily false, but they don't have to be true either. Sydal used an example of him watching AAA in Peru to illustrate that one style of wrestling is no worse or better than the other. Personally speaking, he talked about how he's trying to get back to the Dragon Gate style of wrestling. Sydal had started wrestling in Dragon Gate in 2006 and last wrestled there 2015. He talked about always trying to do something different and original. I don't know if I like the unlearn something every day. I think say yes and adapt and change, but unlearning fundamentals is not the best idea in my opinion. And sometimes people just get those calendars with quotes on them. Alan Watts, unlearn something every day. Yeah, that's what I'm going to tell them today out there. Hey, listen, guys, unlearn something every day. All right, cool.
So unlearn the 5 moves of doom that get every main event wrestler over in their moveset. That's complicating a process, man. I understand what he's saying, but
Sure.
it's like the opposite of learn something new every day. What he's really saying, in my estimation, is forget everything before you came into our system. And
exactly.
We have to do it one step at a time.
Yep. 100%. Well, you thought you were over in Dragon's Gate? Fuck Dragon's Gate. You got to unlearn something to do what I say. And that's the truth of what that is. But Sydal, beloved by pretty much everybody in the business, one of the nicest guys there is, and usually baby faces who have good looking. Well, I won't say that. Well, Stevie was a heel, so he really wasn't a face that most of the time. But baby faces who are good looking dudes who can do athletic things are usually pretty big douchebags. But I may have to rethink that because Silvio's not and he's not. But Sydal Wrestling Academy, Sydal Dojo in Florida. He's down there with our own Chris Silvio training Jenna Van Muscles. You might even see a Serena Deeb or other AEW people there. I know the Ascension, Victor and Connor are training over there as well. It's Sydal's place. So if you're in Florida and you're looking for great independent training, I completely endorse Matt Sydal, Chris Silvio seminars. They're working together and they can help you with everything from character to fundamentals to high flying to hair tips as well. They both have beautiful hair. So shout out Sydal, man, and he's only gonna say nice things. Doesn't matter if it's Triple H or whoever. He's just not built that way to cut people down. Fortunately, I got enough for both of us.
Yeah, they know you have it covered. So
Miro shares his thoughts on different AEW stars that he's met. Holy shit. I met a lot of really cool people there, Miro said, like Eddie Kingston. I've never been around him or met him before, so so to just be around him, he's such a cool dude. Well, if you worked the indies, you probably would have fucking met him. Billy Gunn too. He's such a cool dude to be around. He's always so positive. He actually trained me a little bit back in Orlando, and I learned so much from him. Kip and Penelope.
No. It's just a fucking Onion article.
Kip and Penelope are great people and full of ideas. They have great energy, and I love how they are trying to challenge themselves. I'm not just going to be here for a couple of days, Miro added. I'm there for the big picture, and I'm looking forward to building those relationships and my character. I actually have time to develop stories and morph it into whatever. It would be nice instead of having like 2 weeks to do something and just the same old, same old. I can't go on, bro. He fucking talks about Butcher and Blade. That was bad enough.
But he also said that he wouldn't work with Neville, with Pac.
Because of heat from before or something, or what?
He tore his bicep in a match against him. Yeah. He said he'd never do business with him. But why say that in a public interview anyway? That's just
to be honest, like, Pac hasn't been.
I would book him. I would say, well, okay, we got something here, right?
Right. But Pac hasn't even been on TV. He's over UK thing still, right? So he's a property that has to be restarted all over again. That would be an interesting way to do it. But here we are with fucking, obviously everyone's going to blow sunshine up the WWE superstar's ass when he gets there. I'm sure Cardona and those guys are like looking out of the corner of their eyes going, well, there goes our fucking TV time and contract.
Yeah, I wonder if is this guy under a deal or is he on a nightly? I can't see them being so far in the red. See, this is the thing. Like, there's this whole thing in the beginning they talked about. That's right. I have clutch chairs. That's right. My cats don't like the chair, which is great because it survived.
Right.
But what happened to equal pay? I keep reminding everybody of this stuff. What happened to equal pay? What happened to taking care of the wrestlers, making everybody like this is a big, like you'd be paid according to, it changed so much. I can't even remember. Didn't it go from equal pay to, well, it depends on how long you've been in the business and where you come in. Like they set up all these parameters, but now it's basically an indie where the favorites are going to get or whoever they're marked for are going to get full-time deals. This is basically no different than TNA was.
Mm-hmm.
You got the workhorses, the people that have been there that are still under the nightly deals. And then the new toy comes in every month and we're going to give him 250, 300, 500,000 a year.
Well,
so
let's not get out of hand.
What do you think? I mean,
I talked to Deeb yesterday. They're signing her and the contract and that kind of shit. So
I'm talking about Miro. I'm talking about Rusev.
Yeah. So probably the lower end of that number that you
well, but still. Well, they live in Florida. He gets to drive there. He gets to tape. I would inverse it and pay Serena more because Serena's going to do infinitely more work to coach these girls and do a lot of different stuff where Miro can just show up, do his thing, have fun, and then go back to his Twitch channel. Which please get a cam link and a DSLR. I'm just telling you, dude.
Won't matter.
There's no reason a fitness company that can't even get close to six figures. It has a better setup than you. This lowly jobber mid-card guy for 25 years can have a better podcasting setup than you. Maybe we have another business venture where we can help wrestlers set up their Twitch channels.
Why not? I mean, it's there if they're going to do it. Not
those other goofs were getting 30% from Russo. Jesus.
Yeah. Yep. For nothing. Not anymore. Shout out BTTV. Go fuck yourself.
You call them non-player characters and they fucking came right back. No. It's okay. I think they're done after this. This is the last month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank God.
We've gone over strong on a lot of motherfuckers this summer, man. And it's all battles that are winnable and needed to be fought too. You know what I mean? It was nothing us poking the bear. It was all the bears coming out of hibernation and fucking getting shot. That was what it was. This was interesting. I'm surprised. IRS recently released. Mike Rotunda compares his two sons, Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas. Interesting. Rotunda noted how he feels about younger brother Dallas is actually a better worker than him, than Bray. Bray's been world champ a few times, and I'm sure he'll do it again. Bo has been a tag team champ and has a lot of ability. Even his brother Bray will tell you that Bo is actually a better worker. I can tell you that Bo has a lot of ability, and WWE needs to figure out a way to capitalize on that, enhance his career. Rotunda worked as a backstage producer for 14 years until his recent release, touched upon how Bray Wyatt came up with his on-screen character. Bray has a very creative mind. He came up with most of the character himself. However, creative did have help in it and gave him some inputs. As far as the Firefly Funhouse version of Bray, I believe the character was inspired by Mr. Rogers. No shit. To be honest, I thought the original Bray Wyatt character was truly out of the box because nobody had seen anything like that. He pulled it off brilliantly, added Rotunda. Yeah, dude, I would say body-wise and whatnot, that Bo is going to be, even though he's not real big, built to be more athletic than Bray is, just in the way they're shaped. Maybe he is a better worker, but at the end of the day, wrestling does not get over. Character gets over, and Bray's got character 3 times over anybody else in this business. He's already given them 3 $20 million ideas, and they've fucked up every one of them and gotten about $2 to $5 million value out of it.
Yeah, Bray can do these characters until he can't wrestle anymore and still draw money, which he very rarely wrestles anyway. So maybe he's smarter than all of us, even though they're not using it correctly. So yeah, the Bo thing, he had a really cool little thing with being a heel motivational type guy that would have got a lot of heat. And I think that the thing they looked at it like was not heat, but comedy. It could have been real heat with him doing those kinds of things. And I don't know, because nobody, listen, as much as people like put over Tony Robbins and other people like that, there's still like fuck off, man, with the over the top, like positivity and this and that, and your cliche catch. There's an endless amount of material. So even if they brought that back again, but they won't do that. I think they're going to have him in the as a character, right? A brand new character on the Funhouse.
I thought they were going to maybe debut him then, but then we get Paul Heyman Walrus instead.
Oh, that was important. That was really important.
That was key, right? That was clutch. Maybe they will, because obviously Perfect's kid is gone, Axel. So there's not going to be any more B team like we cared about that. And he's definitely been off TV long enough to reinvent him into that space, but I don't trust anything that they're going to do to be able to pull that off as a side character. And for what reason? Because there's no stakes in the Fiend versus Roman right now. So we need to ratchet that up in order to introduce that character, unless he's just going to come in out of the end and do like the Major Brothers Edge thing with a fake Fiend, or he's going to be the new little Fiend or whatever it is, and we get that debut that helps at the end of the match. But you just put the title on a heel, and he's got to stay strong for a while, otherwise you're going to fuck it up right out of the gate, which they probably will. So that wouldn't be the best place to debut him if you're going to have the Fiend lose, because if you had the Fiend go over there based on a run-in, now you've just fucked up the Roman thing out of the gate that way. So I think it's got to be Roman over on Fiend, and I wouldn't abuse that or use that character in this scenario.
Debuting anybody at this point with no people is just kind of brutal, no matter what. It's lost her. I mean, Russo was on Chicken X yesterday, and I was listening. That's when he exposed Britney Spears and everybody else for being shapeshifters. And it was really, shapeshifters are way scarier than shapeshifters.
Yeah, big time.
Everybody know
you don't want your shaft shipped. I'm telling you that.
But the best part about that is, as I was trying to explain to my wife the videos, Russo got inside my head and I started saying shapeshifters. So who's the idiot now? But like this whole thing with no people, like Vince was saying that they threw a lot of money into the Thunderdome, which is obvious. It's a lot of money, but the content still sucks. The presentation doesn't matter. Once you see it once, it's like, okay, what now? But if the show sucks, then what did they fall below 1.6 again on Raw?
I didn't see that in the
Somebody commented, yeah, I think on the Horsemen last night that it hit 1.6 again or under that.
You're up against football.
Yeah, but that's their excuse. See, they don't see, and this is off topic from the Bo Dallas thing, but it means something because every character could have been built up during this entire time when nothing else was on. They had the opportunity to rebuild the entire product. And because you weren't going to lose any more that you had a captive audience, literally. Mm-hmm. Now, some places are letting fans in. Some people are getting out. There's no more lockdown. And also, people have options to watch stuff. Mm-hmm. But they don't see it that way. They see it as, now we can tell USA and Fox, this is the excuse of why we're not drawing ratings. They're just kicking the can down the road. That's all it has. So for them, they're thanking whatever God or not God that they have that football is back, because they got tired of blaming on basketball or whatever else that was on. Now they can blame football, then they'll blame the World Series, then they'll blame the playoffs on football, then hockey, then the Super Bowl. It just needs to stop. You just need to stop. Like Vince used to say when he wasn't Vince, what Vince used to say when someone said, yeah, we didn't really draw a good house in this town or whatever, because the circus was in town or there was a concert in town. And he goes, well, if we had a good enough product, they would have bought tickets to our show. That's what Vince McMahon used to say when the excuses were brought to him instead of him making the excuses to USA and Fox.
Yeah, when did that complacency or become that drive to like, if we're down, I got to do something. It's just like, the machine will run and it'll generate more money, even in a shittier way based on the corporate structure, as opposed to let's be true artists and put everything we have into this and make some memories for people. The money overtook the artistry of it. Absolutely. I see Piers Austin joining us from Australia, great co-host and Russo brand affiliate member from Wrestling with Tragedy podcast. Stevie, I saw your episode just debuted there, man. And those guys are just doing awesome work and a great niche to look at things. I'm going to actually try and hook him up with Chris Silvio from Light the Fuse podcast, because he's got a ongoing look at Teddy Hart and the things that have happened that way. And now Teddy Hart just sentenced to 10 days in jail. And I'm sure they could have a great conversation with that. And Teddy Hart has to go back to court for another thing in October. So we're right in the midst of some possible more heart strangeness that way. But you guys, if you haven't gone over and subscribed to Wrestling with Tragedy podcast on YouTube, absolutely do that. Russo brand affiliates with Angel and from ECW and two police officers, law enforcement guys, and all wrestling related stuff in there. So awesome little true crime if you're into that type of stuff niche, and we appreciate them being great affiliates with us too, man.
Yeah, it was others actually said in the chat room earlier, there's an easy way to unlearn something every day, and that's just get CT. You can unlearn something every day that way.
That's true. Unlearning, maybe not, but dismissing, and others will like this one. Matt Riddle dismisses restraining order petition against sexual accuser. WWE superstar Matt Riddle recently dropped his petition for restraining order against Candy Cartwright, aka Samantha Tavel, who previously accused him of sexual assault during the hashtag Speak Out movement earlier this year. Riddle and his lawyer accused Cartwright of cyber stalking after the original accusation was made earlier this year, which led to a restraining order petition. Now it's been revealed that Riddle and his lawyer filed to have the petition dismissed in Orange County, Florida on Monday, September 7th, just 36 hours after the court date to hear a motion to dismiss, according to the documents revealed by David Zitzenstan. Riddle alleged that the petition that Cartwright committed stalking, threatened harm against his family members or others close to him, threatened to destroy personal property, and used weapons such as guns or knives, among other accusations. Riddle petition recalled a timeline where he met Cartwright in 2016, and the affair began on November 6, 2017. He tried to break it off in June 2018, but they kept going. He then attempted a definitive breakup in July 2019 after Cartwright allegedly systematically stalked, cyberstalked and harassed Riddle and his wife since July 9th, 2019. He alleges that he blocked Cartwright on social media, changed his phone number, only for her to text him from another burner phone saying that if Riddle did not leave his wife for her, that he would be sorry and Cartwright would ruin his career, according to Riddle. He then claimed that days later, his wife contemplated filing for a restraining order, only to contact WWE and inform them of the situation. The only place that the restraining order petition called for Cartwright to be banned was when the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. Cartwright's lawyer, Allison Lovelady, argued that this indicated the true intention of Riddle's petition, claiming that he was only trying to keep Cartwright from his place of work. The only incident named following the harassment that began July 9th, 2019 was the allegation that Cartwright came from New York to Full Sail University in Florida this past February 2020, where Riddle was working, and made a scene and had to be escorted out of the building. No other incidents were listed on the petition. Goes forward that they've dropped it right before, Athers sent this to me, and Athers is beloved by a lot of people in the independent wrestling scene who he helped get a shine on before they got signed. It doesn't matter if it's Janela, who thought he was dead and was worried about him, or the Broski right here. It's telling. I go back to Leonard Posner and obviously the Sandy Hook thing when Wolfgang had him dead to rights, and he was gonna be in court and be able to ask him questions that would be on record. And right 2 days before that, Posner's lawyer and them dropped that against Wolfgang. This seems like a similar thing where I'm going to drop this because I don't want other truths coming out that go against the narrative that I've laid forth.
Yeah, this thing is this is a mess, man. I feel bad for his wife and his kids to have this thing keep drudging up and everything. People are saying, did he get pinned by Jey Uso in that 4-way? So do you think they're already kind of like calling him off a bit?
Yes, I do. Yep.
I mean, what can you say? At least he's on TV. He hasn't been suspended. He's still getting paid. Lots of other people like Austin Theory didn't have that, latitude with them.
Yeah, if they didn't have the push, they'd be gone, just like an Austin Theory or somebody else who can be marginalized. It's the fact that it's too much bad PR to do something along those lines. And the situation's so fucked up that they almost have to be hands off in house when it comes to public view.
Is there any update on the Velveteen Dream thing? I know that there was a law we talked about on that episode a couple episodes ago, right?
Well, that was what I was on Wrestling with Tragedy. I'm not sure if that episode's dropped yet or not, but that's what we cover. There's definite evidence of him hitting these dudes up and whatnot. But as far as Triple H's statement on the investigation of what went on, I think once they found out that Florida law that his lawyer put over, they were like, we're fine. That we're not, going to be sued for it. But, they said they did an investigation, and then the accuser said they never reached out to me or contacted me. So these lip service PR statements of we're investigating is nothing more than bullshit, while they call Velveteen Dream in the office, get the lowdown, see if their asses are covered, and then they move on. There's no real talking to the victims or any of that type of shit. So it's all lies. It's as over as an ROH investigation is.
Oh, I thought we would go one episode of a show without talking about this kind of subject, but in what world is it a good idea, or what world does a law get passed where you say we really need, during these times and during 2020 and people out of work and people starving, homelessness, especially in California where this is originated, where I'm going. Why did somebody say we need to take this law and put it at the top of the agenda, where if you have sex with a person that's up to 10 years younger than you, it's no longer a crime? Is that the law? I mean, I don't have the exact text, but
it's 14-year-old. So a 24-year-old can be with a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. But some people are saying that the way the law has holes in it, maybe designed that way, that if you're 18, it could be 8. If you're 16, it could be 6. Dude, I mean, it's bad enough as it is, but now you're like, okay, well, what are we talking about? What 10-year gap are we talking about? Because Florida, like you said, has somewhat of a similar law, not as seemingly crazy as this one. And that's what I mean. You can't see an agenda, and then people are like, yep, sounds like a good idea.
Where are our true 3%ers? The picture of this big gawky fucker who was the one who introduced this law, where he looks like a sexual deviant, a weird dude, 6'6", maybe 140 pounds. And he's the one who wants to have sex with a 14-year-old son at 24 years old. Dude, this is where American beheadings must come back. You want to talk about firing up the fan base? You want to bring back the gallows? Like, the fact that he even proposed it, that he would even think about doing it. Thanks for playing, bro. Here's the noose. Get the four-wheelers, boys. We're going to the fucking woods. Dig the hole. Like, where'd big gay Timmy go? Well, he had some bad ideas about what he should be doing to your daughters and sons. And we're not going to let that anymore in our society. So
it's just a clashing of ideas. That's what we call it now.
That's all it is. There's a clashing of a shovel against the back of his head, and then clashing of my finger against the trigger for a double tap. Like, it's all a clash.
I couldn't. It's my fault. We couldn't go one episode.
Oh, I ruined your career.
It just stuck with me, man. I was just like, this is what is that? Did we shit? Did the Mandela effect come in, or some sort of, or did CERN open something up, and the people with common sense were transported into one of the many, the multiverse, one of the Earths where nothing makes sense? I mean, I'm sure maybe we could have. Well, I was going to say maybe we could have ended up on an Earth where the Nazis won, but we all know if you know, you know. Look up NASA.
Yeah,
right.
He got away to South America, and we Americanized all their technology. They did win.
Hey, at least NASA was more creative than WWE.
Ben's right. We need to bring back the bronze bull for these guys. That's all it takes. Like, the fact that they're emboldened. I talked about this last night to even Gage. I go, there's 1,000 people. Why do we not have Rumsfeld tied down and whipping the bottom of his feet every day with rosebush thorns until they break? These are little pussy ass second and third generation motherfuckers. You think if you broke George Bush's pinky finger and ring finger, he's not going to start talking by the time you get to the middle one? He is bitch made. All you have to do, you think you can't touch somebody from 300 yards away at Bohemian Grove with a 308 on them? Absolutely, I can get you at the fucking cremation of care ceremony from the top of the Moloch statue. I'm happy to do that kind of work if need be.
Here's a story. It's funny you mention that, because I had a story in the back of my mind that I wanted to tell, because quite a few years ago, before I moved here to Atlanta, I was in Kansas, and I was interviewing for a job to run social media and event coordinator for a local rec center. And I was sitting across from this guy who is the local government worker, but a supervisor, like the king of nothing, basically. You know what I mean? And the way he was looking at me, who I had been on TV for 20 years and all these other things that I didn't put it out there because I was interviewing for a completely different position. But the way he was looking me up and down and tearing apart my resume, which actually my resume looked very well, it was very professional. I'm not going to give somebody that something looks like dog shit. No. And it looked like no picture on it, but it looked like it was set up kind of like typography, like a magazine, very organized and things like that, and had good, not bullshit fluff accomplishments on it. And he was just like, well, I'm going to tell you right now, I mean, I don't like your resume. I don't like the way it looks. I haven't read it, but I don't like the way it looks. And he was like, why do you think you deserve to work here for me? Like, what makes you think you do? And I'm thinking to myself, that stuck with me forever. Like, that sums up the false idols. Just because your position or the office or the chair in some way needs to be respected, which, by the way, it doesn't. I'm gonna have to sit here and take this shit from you. I felt like getting up, grabbing by the throat, and saying, "You're fucking nothing, dude. Like, I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but I can whip your fucking ass right now." Like, that kind of needs to be. Everybody needs to be reset in some way.
Exactly. It's the illusion. People only have power of what you give them over you. pain is a fucking, I'm not trying to say go out and do damage on people that out of nowhere and like that physical violence is the thing. Obviously I say this as a hyped up way, but when you're talking about the masters, that is the only way to dethrone them. What was the quote I heard last night? Could have been from Triple H's
I learned something every day.
But it was all of the kings shit must be killed until all the kings are killed with the blood of the church. Man will never be free. Something.
Are you talking about the Tree of Liberty needs to be the Tree of Liberty needs to be refreshed with the blood of patriots from time to time? That's the other one.
Like that, but it's probably earlier than that from obviously UK and overthrow of what that was.
Literally right now, this is not wrestling, but this is the analogy of wrestling too, because the people in power that you're looking at, like these are some motherfuckers you need to look up to. I was around them for a long time. I'm telling you right now, you'll never meet more flawed individuals in your life. Even with politicians, it's right up there. Nancy Pelosi is the 2020 version. She literally did it on James Corden. She's the 2020 version of fucking Maria Antoinette.
Yeah,
she was literally showing $20,000 fridges and freezers with friggin' custom made ice cream hand delivered to her door, probably made by fucking slave children in China or maybe in her basement. And she's literally laughing about it. And James Corden is like thinking this is good content, getting paid millions of dollars. These are the fucking heroes that need to be all brought down. You're right.
It's all fucking, and especially if they get $2.3 trillion, fake Darth Vader heart number 5 for Dick Cheney. Well, we've raped with Halliburton and they just got away with it. And where is he now? Like Bush completely off the radar, dude. They got away with all this. All it takes is a little hunting. It takes just a little bit of spot and stock. Anyone can be Podesta, all of them. You could go right down the fucking Happy Gilmore list, or the Billy Madison list if you fucking needed to, bro.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi, I think the guy's name is.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi, right? Yeah, and all of them can get got, and they need to.
But that's that to go right back to the wrestling. That's what we're talking about here, where we've given way too much credit to the wrong people, and you're putting people in power and in creative control. And that speaks for the boys and girls. I wish I knew this when I was there, to look at them and say, I knew, but I still knew I had to keep my mouth shut in a way because I was institutionalized in the bubble, and I was trying to play nice and kill them with kindness and not two wrongs don't make a right type shit and all that stuff. But deep down, it was just like, man, there's no cameras around this hallway, and I see this motherfucker, and I want to, like, I had you in my head, even though I didn't meet you yet. I'm like, it's got to happen. I'm a man. I can't fucking take this anymore.
And that's how I ruined your life.
I won't go to Vince and tell him I feel suicidal. I'm going to go up to that person and pick my spot. That's what I should have done.
It just takes a while to get there. Unfortunately, our paths didn't cross at that time, but they have now. And I was able to lure Russo away from WWE to ruin his life. And I'm glad I could catch up.
Fuck your 10 world titles, Vince. I don't need it.
Tony Khan reveals parking lot brawl from last night was one take. Mick Foley praises the match. Khan says it was all shot at once in one take, no edits, other than dropping the audio on the F word. One amazing take. Good backyard or backlot parking lot brawl last night from the Best Friends versus LAX. It was a decent way to end the show, hardcore wise, and then Best Friend's mom showed up and they drive off the other, and they actually used Orange Cassidy, exactly like we've been saying on Light the Fuse, that he shouldn't be a star, that he needs to pop out of things. Middle of the fight, he hops out of a trunk, gets the fucking big snavets with the chain on him, and then they go into the finish from there. Used properly. So they're definitely listening to everything that goes on, whether it's WWE, AEW, to HMG and Russo brand, because it's not like we're like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiots? Sometimes we're like that. But like the reality is, if you can cut through that reaction and apply the knowledge we're giving you, your show's going to get better. the Orange Cassidy out of the trunk was the biggest pop in that segment because he was used properly as a surprise, not exposed as a fucking mimosa 20-minute bullshit match. All he needed was 15 seconds to pop out of a trunk, hit a guy with a fucking chain, and it added everything to the match. This is exactly what I've been saying since his inception, since you fucked him up. So hopefully we can get back on track, but Khan, has to put it over one shot. I
got another tie for you. How many stories you got left?
4.
I don't know if I want to end with this one. This one would be a good one to set you off.
Yeah, we can end with these. None of these are really that great. Miro claims he doesn't want to talk about WWE anymore. He revealed on Busted Open Radio. He says, "You gather feelings over the years. I'm usually positive. I never like to talk bad about anybody just because we've all done bad stuff. And here's a certain time where not all, there's a certain time where you put all your heart and story into certain things. And you don't feel like it's coming to fruition for one reason or another. It's so disheartening over the years. So I have to thank Chris Jericho. I told him my ID and he said, you should say about the brass ring." Oh, that was so controversial. I was like, whoa, do I ask for forgiveness after? He was like, no, you don't have to ask for anything. You just do it. It's a good promo. I was so shocked because it's a different style. It was important for me to say because I meant all of these things. I needed to do 1 second to express my frustrations over the past 10 years, then move on. I don't want to talk about them anymore. I have no bad feelings. I'm in a great position and everything was meant to be. There's political 101. So they don't put your wife through a table via a big Samoan marshmallow man. However, that still goes on.
Hasn't all his Twitch streams been about WWE after he left?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Or how he's the best gamer on Twitch. You might have heard that.
No, that was on AEW. It wasn't on Twitch. It was actually his opening promo. That was the first thing he wanted to get over, is being the best at, which means he was trying to pop the boys or make people laugh. And that's not exactly what you want to do when you potentially come in and be their champion.
I didn't see him backtrack on Meltzer, but really Meltzer's not even on my radar because he's a total fucking mark. And so are 90% of your stars, because if they're even dealing with Meltzer and going back and forth, they're exposing themselves as internet smarks, and you're not protecting your star power or what you should be, especially in the first week. So
dude, did you make the video? I specifically edited the video. It's only like a minute or so long. And the thumbnail, I think I'd have to veto Ted and use it as a thumbnail. When Dave Meltzer's talking about making people watch AEW during his daughter's birthday party. Did you see that video?
I didn't.
Make it live, man.
Psychos. Oh yeah, actually, Beast just did send me the thumbnail for that. I didn't hear it, but I saw you put it up there. So
I'll have to use this thumbnail. I'm just kidding, but dude, it's only a minute 10 or so, but I leave the clip of him explaining like how this went down, and then Vince reacting to it.
I'll have that up for you guys here, probably right before Light the Fuse.
And that's a good tease for castrating the marks, because that's a clip from that. And definitely want to subscribe to Russo brand to get the full reaction, because I gave you a little taste, but I didn't give you the whole plate.
I was glad that Hausman got castrated. We played that on Impact Attack, a little Nick Hausman castrating the marks clip.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Like he's so like sarcastic calling him sir. Yeah. Like if he saw him, would he still call him sir? Like, come on, man. All right, you ready? If this is going to be the last one, I gotta read this one for you. You ready?
Go ahead.
Oh, the title says it all, but the quote is even better. Chris Jericho says Tony Khan is not a money mark. He's the boss in AEW. Let me bring your picture back up here, get your reaction. Okay, I'll keep reading. AEW opened their doors, and many people look suspiciously at Tony Khan as an outsider coming in with millions of dollars to start a pro wrestling company. He has proven to be more than just a fan with a billionaire father. Let me come back to you. Okay. Checking your reaction. All right. Jericho made it clear that Tony Khan is not a money mark. He's actually running the show in AEW. Well, with all the I'm sure he is. That's me, not Jericho. Mm-hmm. He is open to discuss new ideas, but in the end, he's the one calling the shots. This is unlike Vince McMahon, who is quite set in his ways. Quote, One thing about Tony Khan is he's very driven and he's very passionate and he knows what he wants. He's not a pushover in any way, shape, or form. I think that's kind of a misconception for a lot of people about Tony Khan. He's a money mark and he doesn't know anything. He does know. He knows more about wrestling than I do as far as the history and the dates and the matches and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't mean he knows anything, though.
Yeah, that means to me he's on the spectrum of autism, and that's what he memorizes are those type of things.
Yeah,
that's exactly. And here's Jericho making
that's about all the quote that puts him over.
That's brutal. That's brutal. That's like, here's Chris Jericho. Great. He knows more than me, and he's set in his ways, but he's open to suggestions. Unlike Vince, who won't even hear a suggestion. And last night, they're trying to turn the Bucks heel, like having them run in and act tough. Now they go to the back. Fucking Matt pulls out $5,000 out of his tights after they just fucking fought somebody out there. Khan sitting behind Gorilla. As soon as they follow him right down the ramp into the Gorilla behind the fucking thing, Khan sitting there in some t-shirt with a fanny pack on, trying to look like a worker. Matt throws him $5,000 for a fine, and they walk by him, dude. You think this guy doesn't want to be on camera 100%. You're going to not call him a money mark and then have somebody throw $5,000 in his lap. That's exactly it, dude. It's everything that they want to say PR wise, think the exact opposite. And that is what is true.
Yeah, but Jericho's smart. He put him over, but he didn't put him over as far as creating TV, writing TV, booking TV, psychology, or anything else. He put him over exactly truthfully with what he is knowledgeable about. You noticed that, right? He put him over, but he didn't put him over for the fact that he's not a money mark. Those two things are exclusive from each other. To say he's not a money mark, but he knows he's the same type of knowledge as Dave Meltzer. There's no difference. Doesn't mean they know like actual wrestling product and how to book a show.
I agree. Maybe they both share the same spectrum medicine because it seems like they're cut from the same cloth.
All right. I was expecting, well, I got you to react, but I was expecting.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I know you want to be not trying to no selling get hot, but it's just like everybody's there bucking for a job and they're going to say whatever it is, whether it's Miro. Everyone is so nice here to me, everybody. And I don't want to talk bad. And dude, give it. You think that this wrestling company is going to be different than any other wrestling where, dude, they might be sunshining you now and all that kind of shit, but everybody who started with it and it was the Team Elite, now we've broken off because Hangman doesn't want to do shit with Omega. Everybody hates Cody behind the fucking scenes for becoming Triple H and whatever he's doing that way. Bucks are out of the picture as a main part of the creative. And now it's Jericho and fucking Khan as being the ones that do it. You think Jericho's going to burn that bridge while he's getting power creatively to do something? No. All of these things that any wrestler who knows, who's ever been office, and you see these little PR things out in front for the marks, we know the real deal of what's going on, of what that message really means politically for someone to protect themselves, further their career, or fabe on purpose because of heat. Fans might not see it, but when we read these things, and Stevie's like, this will set them off. It's because we know what the fucking real underlying premise of what they're trying to do is, and it's just laughable at every fucking turn. You know, he knows more about the history than I ever will. Oh yeah, does he know how to fucking who tags first in the hot tag? Does he know that?
Well, that's what Chris is saying, and Chris is also saying Chris knows how to draw money. Chris knows how to work. Chris knows how to get over. These are things that, like, look at the exact words. He's saying something without even saying anything. Just, I'm not being a conspiracy guy. Because I would put him over and be nice, and you want to kind of fluff the owner a little bit so he feels empowered. I get it. You're working. Mm-hmm. It's the old Dixie Carter with a glass of wine and telling her how nice she looks and stuff like that. I've witnessed that from quite a few guys that are getting paid 50 times more than I was at TNA because I didn't have a glass of wine telling them how good she looked. So there you go. But she got the yoga videos. So she owes me about $300,000 right now. I forget what I was going to say. You had
We were
some great
talking
points.
Jericho putting stuff over in kayfabe.
No. You were saying, oh, no. Tell me more about this. Like there was legitimate backstage stuff between even like Paige and Kenny Omega. I know about the Bucks kind of not feeling so close to Cody anymore.
Side of the stooge of where I get, whether it comes from 2CW heads or that are, you know, in talks every day with All Elite, you know, just the climate of it, where it all started with, I mean, it's based off of being the Elite, this whole company. So where did that start? That started with the Bucks, and pretty much that was that of them going, you know, back and forth Japan. Adam Cole jumps on that. Adam Cole, terrible in all the being the Elite sketches. And you can see that he's just jumping on to do that. Cody does the same thing, sees what's hot, brings him on. You know, I would say the Elite with Paige in Japan was pretty believable, but now they all get together and PWG end up working con. AEW gets started. Now Cody makes his power play. Everybody ends up hating Cody. He does his thing with his boyfriend, Steve Amell, to go fucking start this other stuff. The big being the Elite triumvirate of our power struggle of everybody coming together as vice presidents is completely gone now. The marketing expert, like what marketing expertise have we seen out of that office come to fruition? Little to none. And now it's really about the top dogs getting their boys jobs, whether it's Cody getting, the Major Brothers in there or whatever, Brian Cage and that independent spirit of the indies is out the window. And we're not even at a year yet. We're at month 11 of 12. And 5 restarts for Sean Spears, whatever it is, man. You can go right down the list of what seemed like hopes and dreams of the young generation ready to change the business is now WCW light on the way back down the backside of the mountain. And it's because wrestling politics and the truth of carny scumbagism will always be in wrestling and will always rise to the top, no matter how many layers of frosting you want to put on it for your smart marks who think it's a new day. Same old shit, different company, same old leeches eating off the fucking corpse, and they're going to come in and take bites until the money's gone.
You're right. Couldn't agree more. But it's a family.
And now the Bucks and them all know that Cody did use them, got in, got over. That malice is there. The distrust is there. The no Elite. We're ending the being the Elite. You think that's just because it ran its course? No. A lot more there to unpack, kids, but it's above your pay grades. Not yours, Stevie, but report Mickie James not injured in match with Asuka. Yeah, I'm just we'll come back to that one. That'll be our finish. All Elite signs Will Hobbs. Looks like an athletic guy with a little gynecomastia like me. I don't really know much about him. Bay Area Indies for 10 years, so he's a West Side guy. But he got signed because of one thing that he did in a battle royal, which was a pretty brutal battle royal where they were putting people in body bags. It was one of the dumbest things I'd seen at AEW. So congratulations to this young man getting signed. He's not a property I know, but I'm sure he'll be in the top 100 of the PWI next year. So good for you, man. Get your job, stay strong, work safe, do well, young man, and use social media properly, please.
Yeah.
Wade Barrett signs with a new contract with WWE. He's going to be announcing NXT, and that's not bad news for him. A lot of respect for Barrett from our OVW days. He did a great job NWA coming in there to add to that announced team, and obviously can get it done in the ring if he needs to still. So a dude they put a lot of time and effort into, cut because they couldn't get things done the right way. And now he's back and has a lot to add to the product, man. I mean, this guy he's got it like Magnus has got it, like Nick Aldis. He's good looking enough to be 007, or he can play the bad guy if you need him to be. He's got the the charm and savoir-faire of the accent of British royalty. And, we'll see if they use him to any capacity aside from just being Vince McMahon's next puppet or Triple H's, whoever, where they're in his earpiece and he's just repeating. I don't think NXT has that problem that badly, but who knows how quickly he could be called up to the main roster. As I've heard Samoa Joe maybe cleared or maybe leaving. So I imagine they'll probably put him right in that spot as well.
Yeah, this is another thing. I guess after NWA went out of business or whatever happened and whatever may happen, whatever it is now, the weekly pay-per-views, he couldn't wait around, but it was a good investment of his time to learn how to be a commentator there, to get him this job and still kind of be away from some of the truly evil people up on the main roster. He's kind of in his own little positive bubble down there in NXT where he can kind of do his own thing. And I'm sure he has no desire to work Raw or SmackDown. Seems like a good guy. I think he just wants to leave me alone. That's what he wants.
Talking to Deeb about her contract and getting signed and talking money and that. Then she's like, well, it's this compared to WWE. And she goes, but I'm only working 1 day a week as opposed to 5. I go, then multiply that what they're offering you by 5 and compare that to what WWE was with all the bullshit. And I think you're going to see that you're on a little bit better end. And she also can work any dates for, indies that she wants to as well that don't conflict, higher level ones that way. So the contracts are getting done. Shout out to Hobbs, getting his spot, man, especially in a time when Miro's showing up and other WWE guys who are more well-known. In the chat here saying, some of our fans saying Hobbs is a big name on the West Coast. So, I'm East Side, so I just haven't crossed paths with him. But he looked good on camera, and I hope he does big things. But, man, from what they got guys like Scorpio Sky and they're marginalized. They've got, Kazarian had a good match last night, but what did it really do?
Where has he been? You got Kazarian on the shelf for how long? The guy got over multiple times. And then, like, what is it now? I mean, I'm sure he's an agent to some. How many wrestlers are you going to have? How many agents are you going to have? How many people are you going to have coaching or doing whatever before you have to make it a 3-hour show, before you need a second show or a third because you have dark too?
Yeah. It's
getting to a point of like WCW signing so many people or having so many people on the show, nobody will get over.
Mm-hmm. Well, they were going to have a second show on TNT before his buddy got fired there. So is there going to be a Thursday Night Thunder? Possibly.
Yeah, but how's it going to be differentiated? It's the same exact building. It's going to be the same look. How do you make it a completely different show?
You don't.
Oh, okay.
We haven't.
How do we get millions of dollars to just create the same exact show twice?
Here's a big one. Society 858. How much is AEW in the red?
That was my next question. My next question is, the overhead is so high right now. Sure, you don't pay for a building because your daddy, who you're not a billionaire son, but your daddy gives you a stadium to film every week. Okay.
Oh shit.
So how much longer? This is before Rusev. This is before maybe even Zack Ryder on a nightly deal. This is before all these people they're signing, or people that are just paying travel for COVID testing. Is COVID 60-second minute clinic COVID testing or testing? What the fuck? Shifting. But what I'm saying is, you're
testing. I mean, we got it.
You don't have any ticket sales, so you're just hemorrhaging money every week. You're not even breaking even. So how much longer is Daddy Khan gonna put up with? He can just shut the thing off tomorrow if he wanted to, and he's not gonna lose any sleep. Especially if Jacksonville football starts losing big too, like big money with empty arenas, bro. How much can you hemorrhage? Something's got to go. And I'm sure their merch sales are down. Everything's got to be down as well. Final story of the day. I don't know how much we can stooge, but Mickie James not injured in a match with Asuka, just really good at selling.
Mickie James is apparently not injured in her Monday Night Raw title match at Asuka. With Asuka reported this week, as a report from Mike Johnson via Pat Buck, PW Insider. The final seconds of Raw Women's Championship match, thank you. A match were painfully awkward as the referee called for the bell despite no visible submission from James as she was trapped in the Asuka lock. Johnson reported that the decision was made for the referee to step in and stop the match, and there was concern that she may have been injured or out on her feet. In reality, the 6-time women's champion and 3-time knockouts champ was really just good at selling the effects of a submission and was in no way legitimately injured during the performance. Unfortunately, James' most recent return to the ring for WWE has been marred with frustration. In her first match in more than a year, she lost to Natalya in less than 3 minutes and was not given her own entrance. She then defeated Lana in a quick 2-minute match. This is clearly not how anyone wanted her big title opportunity to turn out. Yeah.
I don't think that last statement is necessarily true.
Yeah.
This is not how we wanted it. Yeah, I think it's exactly how somebody might have wanted it to go.
It is exactly how somebody might have wanted it to go. The confusion and her selling, no, this is a screw job. The more we look at it, with the Zelina Vega getting marched out to further the business right afterwards and get away from Mickie and like transition around the corner to that. From Mickie, this is all with Nick Aldis and Bruce going back and forth, with Bruce striking out at Aldis. And again, that's for what reason? To say those things is not going to get back. And then Nick's not going to lay down. He's a man, a hell of a man, and has his own thing in NWA and knows his value. Meanwhile, though, in these same scenarios, whether it's Miro and Lana, Moxley and his wife who got let go recently, these couples, they can take it out on the one that's there with the beef that they've got with somebody they have no control over. And this is exactly what we're seeing. The squash match, where she gets beat, they don't even put the finish on there. Rollins came out and they went to the desk while the match is going on in the ring to pull focus and say, see, fuck you. Yeah, we put you on TV, but you're not on TV. And then the one after that was an effed up nothing match that led to this, with an I love the business promo beforehand, just so we can screw you later and then really see how much you love the business. The referee, not that stupid. Her selling, good. Yeah, but no, this, you can see him like reacting to something in his ear. Go back and watch it. They're calling the audible from gorilla position to fuck her over right there in a Montreal screw job. There really doesn't have as much stakes as a Brett Sean does, obviously, but it's just to put it to her. And then her face tells the whole tale, and you can go find that picture online. And then turn around from that, she has to go back there and be told, oh, your selling was just too good. Heat's on the ref. He screwed up. You know what I mean? Unless I see the run sheet off of the wall where it says Zelina Vega makes entrance right after the pin, that's all a lie. Then it's a complete screw job with her getting shifted because shaft shifted because the stuff with Bruce and Nick Aldis, man. That's the reality of it and what they're telling her. She may be too much inside the wrestling bubble to see the outside pieces of that, but I think they're well smart enough to understand what's really going on, man. And again, when are they going to put her in there off of this with fucking I'll wrestle her, and she's going through a table Samoan drop style as a punishment and getting hurt? Instead of, I say fuck them, pal, leave and go wrestle Serena and have the best match in AEW, not women's match, the best match in AEW in 2021.
All right, I have this audio clip I want to play.
Hall of Famers, Harley Race, he's full of is the reality. And,
talk about Bruce.
It just, honestly, what he did was he just exposed the fact that he hasn't been paying attention to anything that's been going on, because the one consistent thing that comes up with everybody from Mark Henry to, Hall of Famers, Harley Race, Dusty Rhodes, even tippy top guys in WWE who have texted me privately, whose names I won't mention, who all say the same thing, which is, you know what? Like, you have that thing. You present yourself like a real pro wrestler, like the kind of wrestling that I miss, the kind of wrestling that I thought wasn't here anymore. And for Bruce to say that, it just showed that he just hasn't been paying attention. Kind of like when he was running TNA. He wasn't paying attention. He was asleep, you know. And the reality is that he took a shot, and he, you know, tried to give some half-baked sort of reason as to why he decided to say it and whatnot. Said he was going to address it, did not, you know, let it breathe. So now he's getting a receipt. He's not getting a receipt. He's getting an invoice is what he's getting. And he likes to float things out that are subjective and just sort of present them as fact. He lives in this past sort of mentality where he thinks that because he's WWE, he can just say whatever about someone, and that's the only thing anyone will hear, and that will be the opinion that everybody shares. Well, it don't work like that anymore. Times have changed. People fact check. People can go and present their opposing opinion. And gloves are coming off this time, because I'm not going to sit here and take it. I have a 5-year-old son. I have to sit there and look him in the eye, and I need him to look at his father and think that he's a man. And I have to tell him to stand up for himself. And I have to explain to him that when someone takes a shot at you, you have to take it and give one back, because you can't just you can't be governed by fear. He thinks that guys like me are going to just sit there and take it because I'm always holding on to that sliver of hope that, you know, oh, well, I don't want to get heat with them because, you know, maybe I want a job someday. Sorry, I don't live my life governed by fear. Certainly not the fear of the ignorant.
Holy dude. I mean, hold on.
Yeah.
That is a fucking man. That is a man in this business, a rare commodity. HMG, we got a couple of them. And right there is a guy who will not lay down, knows his value, and doesn't even have to put himself over. Just the situation alone of how you chop wood, carry water, and protect your business and stand up for who the fuck you are and not let anybody have this false power over you. Only a guy, and put the British accent on it. There's real articulation in the quality of what's being said right there. Stunning, phenomenal, and massive respect for Nick Aldis Magnus.
Just to give perspective too, that it sounds like in a different British voice exactly what Vince has said about Bruce Prichard. And Bruce and these people, we just got done talking about, you know, the King of Nothing in that little interview I did is no different than the Bruces and the Vinces and the people. I'm in WWE, so therefore I know more and I'm better and I'm this and that. And yeah, he thought he could hurt Nick's career by saying that, when in retrospect, he actually did him a favor. He's more over than ever now.
Thanks, Braun. Yeah, I mean, that's the end of it today, guys. We're not going to take him any higher than that. This shit with Mickie and the punishments with Lana, and whether it's cyberbullying or the Jericho office stuff for Khan, it doesn't end. The carniness doesn't end. The lies will never end. The baby facing and glad handing with the backstage backstabbing will never end. Some of us are going to be great at it. Others are going to be exposed as total fucking douchebags using it. And they'll have to learn the hard way, because that's the only way they're going to learn, because they don't want to humble themselves. They're gassed up thinking they're stars and that they're untouchable until they get touched in the worst way, in that California 24 to 14-year-old way, for their own misgivings, man. And it comes back around every single time. And people are waiting in the wings to chop their legs out for all of the bullshit that they've done over the years. And I have no fear of them. Obviously you don't, and neither does Nick Aldis, and neither does Vince Russo. And those are four voices that matter and have some weight. And the more they try and push back against it, the higher up that ladder we go, just another step at a time. And they're coming down, down, down at a more rapid pace than maybe we're going up, but we're meeting in the middle right now. And there's going to be more shots fired this way because of their ignorance and our ability to see the truth outside of the bubble. And that's what they don't want. They don't want those truth face slaps of these stupid little worlds that they've set up for themselves, that they think everybody has to play by those rules. We make the rules around here, motherfucker. Our name's on the door, not yours.
Times has changed. Times have changed.
Yep. And we're going to do everything. We're going to pioneer it. We're going to lead it that way. And whether it's not having to go to the gym and deal with Planet Fitness bullshit, because you can stay home and do Stevie Richards Fitness, resistance band program, yoga, get those Force Flex USA folding big racks that he's got.
What is that, a shift chaser?
Yeah.
Shift shafter?
Yep. To do the heavyweights, Stevie's got you on lockdown. Go over, subscribe to his YouTube channel right now. Push him to do his 80s love songs. Push him to do his Coast to Coast AM, because there's so much greatness in him every day that he's giving you, and he wants to do even more. He just needs somebody to say, yes, you can. So even the people who are inspiring others and motivating them, they need a little push and pat on the back. That's why I asked Richard Gage if he was hanging in there last night. We got your back, brother, because in the fight against stupidity, tyranny, bullying, and just being a straight up ass most of your fucking life, those of us who aren't that are locked in that battle, and it can wear you down. So we appreciate all the followers, all the buyers who you're getting a quality product and you're getting that interactivity with somebody who's got your best interest in mind, not just trying to sell you a line of bullshit, man.
Are you talking about mortgages? I know every time you have that look in your so yeah, it gets better every day. It gets better every day to know that you just want to do some honest, ethical work. You want to help people. You want to provide quality content. You want to do a bunch of stuff that's positive and productive, because we come from a world where that was not the way to make money.
No.
And apparently the old guard who thinks that's still the way to go is quickly realizing, once again, times have changed.
And we're going to keep changing the game here, man. At Hamin Media Group in Russo brand, come into our house and see what happens. Or come into our house and take your shoes off and say, you know what I'm doing in WWE and AEW isn't really working. Can you guys help me? I think you have great ideas. And what do you guys see for me? There's a couple who do that, but it's few and far between. Usually it's knuckle up and how dare you, and you're not over, and you didn't have the fake Saudi Arabian belt or fucking trophy while they're beheading people out in the parking lot. So apparently you know more than me, Briz, and I'll just be humble and shut the fuck up and take my prowrestlingtees.com/BenHamin check at the end of the month. So we're having a good time, man. It's the ultra declassified kayfabe, unkayfabery Friday locker room here, taped on Thursday live, twitch.tv/conspiracy horsemen. Hamin Media Group on your iTunes, Hacker Hamin on your iTunes for our main channels. Big UFC weekend ahead. Football's back. The U.S. Open for golf. A lot going on this weekend, Stevie. I got a lobster party on Saturday or Sunday I'm looking forward to as well. But what do you got going on this weekend, man?
Are you going to go up to the lobster and go, who's this big son of a bitch?
Look at that big bastard. Yeah.
I'm just gonna actually try to create some more content. I'm gonna kind of putting stuff in the queue for the YouTube channel. My wife has been interviewing guests left and right all over the place for the Career Junkie podcast. Tomorrow morning, Friday morning, as you're probably listening to this, she will have Jeff on from Stonehouse Revival that was on the DIY network. So we have a lot of different guests coming up. We have a special effects person that has worked on The Walking Dead amongst other TV shows and movies. We have a business technology person. We have Greg Miller, Russo's nephew, talk about music theory, which once a week we are actually going to stream my piano lesson.
Awesome.
So it's going to be part of either my channel, his channel, or just kind of like streamed on a bunch of different things, maybe even here on twitch.tv/conspiracy horseman, but tons of different stuff going on, man. And good stuff. Go to StevieRichardsFitness.com. Check out the beginner yoga video series, also the resistance band training programs. And more importantly,
His name is...
that'll stay there for a while.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, man. I appreciate all you've done this week for both of all three of our brands. You really killed it this week on Russo brand and the Raw and SmackDown review, and we had a great time at Master Shoot together. Couldn't be happier and more thankful for the creative work and partners I have behind me, beside me, you know, and pushing it forward for all you loyal listeners to see you guys do that Braun thing. And I was waiting to get the onslaught of WWE marks. It was exactly the opposite. It was HMG going in on him for not listening and fucking being bullheaded. Pops me, man. Pops me. I don't know what to say except for thank you. Triple D wanted to say thank you to all the hardcores who went over and left a great review on the Dippin' Donuts Rome, New York Facebook as they were under attack from local Antifa, you know, SJWs trying to ruin their rating and talk shit. And I hate to pull that trigger for that, but you guys turned out in droves. If you haven't, you want to go leave a 5-star Meltzer on there on the Dippin' Donuts Facebook. That's awesome. But he wanted me to let you know during a time where his family was a little bit troubled by that, to see you guys answer the call really lifted their spirits, and it could have gone way worse if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you very much to you guys, Russo Brand, Goldie, Patreon members. She put out the signal flare too, and you guys turned out, man. And he's doing great things on the Hamin Media Group affiliates channel. The second Star Trek podcast just dropped, so he's enjoying that, man. And I'm glad he's got a creative outlet that way. So thanks to Triple D. You can also support by going to ZordosOliveOil.com, grabbing it there, or thebrosters.com. Grab that Russo brand coffee. We get a little kickback on every one of those, and you're doing something to support our brand, to keep media like this at Hamin Media Group free, so you guys got content 7 days a week, because it's all about the real underground, not the raw underground. We keep it raw in our underground here, man. So appreciate you guys. Anything else, Stevie? We good to take it home?
We're good. No more wrestling headlines, please, for God's sake.
Duck one and he hits you with the Stevie kick. You better sell it and go out, because I'm not coming in to get any more shit in. It's Hacker Hamin. It's Big Stevie Cool. It's your Friday locker room, infidels. Yalla.
His name is